We will call this regular meeting of Fairfield City Council to order for Monday, July 13th, 2026. With that, Councilmember Brill, would you lead us in the pledge and prayer, or prayer and pledge of allegiance? Thank you.
Okay, let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, as we celebrate the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States of America, we remember the convictions, contemplation, and courage of our forefathers in writing the Declaration of Independence. Their statement that all people are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights reminds us that our rights come from you, not from a king or from government. And because our rights come from you, no government can rightfully take them away. We are grateful for their wisdom and for the blessings of liberty that have been entrusted to us. We ask for your guidance as we make the decisions before us today. Grant us wisdom, integrity, and humility, and help us always to keep the will and the best interests of the people at the forefront of our thoughts and actions. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Council Member. Madam Clerk, could we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Brill.
Here.
Councilmember Davidson. Present. Councilmember Bessel.
Here.
Councilmember Paulus.
Here.
Councilmember Pennington.
Here.
Councilmember Kraft. Councilmember Myers.
Here.
Make a motion to excuse Councilmember Kraft.
Second.
Motion is second to excuse Councilmember Kraft. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Are there any agenda modifications tonight?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to add an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter the IUOE Local 20 collective bargaining agreement and to add an ordinance to establish salaries and hourly rates for certain salaried and hourly employees of the city of Fairfield.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to add an ordinance to the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, and it'll be added under Finance and Budget. Let's see, executive session.
No request, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. Now, special presentations. First, we've got some fire department oath of offices. So I would ask, it looks like Tyler is first on the agenda. Chief, how are you? Good to see you. Good. Tyler? Okay. We'll get this here so we can both look at it at the same time. Okay. I state your name
I, Tyler Todhunter,
as a firefighter for the city of Fairfield, Ohio,
as a firefighter for the city of Fairfield, Ohio,
swear to continually demonstrate professionalism,
swear to continually demonstrate professionalism,
competence,
competence,
respect, and loyalty
and loyalty
in the performance of my duties,
in the performance of my duties,
to serve my commanding officers with respect
to serve my commanding officers with respect
and dignity,
and dignity,
and to serve the citizens of Fairfield, Ohio
and to serve the citizens of Fairfield, Ohio
with compassion, courage, and integrity,
with compassion, courage, and integrity,
and to uphold the laws and constitutions of the United States of America,
and to uphold the laws and constitutions of the United States of America,
the state of Ohio,
the state of Ohio,
and the city of Fairfield, Ohio.
and the city of Fairfield, Ohio.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Welcome aboard. We have a badge to put on. Okay. All right. That's great. Welcome to the team. Okay, we have one more person. Please come up. Okay, I'll put it out here so we can both read it. I state your name
I, Jacob Schock,
as a firefighter for the city of Fairfield, Ohio,
as a firefighter for the city of Fairfield, Ohio,
swear to continually demonstrate
swear to continually demonstrate
professionalism,
professionalism,
competence,
competence,
respect,
respect,
and loyalty
and loyalty
in the performance of my duties,
in the performance of my duties,
to serve my commanding officers with respect and dignity,
to serve my commanding officers with respect and dignity,
and to serve the citizens of Fairfield, Ohio
and to serve the citizens of Fairfield, Ohio,
with compassion, courage, and integrity,
with compassion, courage, and integrity,
and to uphold the laws and constitutions of the United States of America,
and to uphold the laws and constitutions of the United States of America,
the state of Ohio,
the state of Ohio,
and the city of Fairfield, Ohio.
and the city of Fairfield, Ohio.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Welcome aboard. We got a bat up. Here we go. Thank you. Thank you all. Okay, one more special presentation tonight. Chris Ferguson, Ferg the Bike Dude. Come on up. I don't know if everybody knows Chris, but he's kind of an icon on social media right now for all the good work that he does. Chris takes old bikes, fixes them up, sells them, and gives the money to local animal shelter. Chris, how much have you raised this year?
Since March 3rd, I'm just under 15,000.
$15,000 that he's raised to support the animals. And I'll tell you, something else that I've noticed. When he gets on social media, he's a positive influence. He tries to say the right things, do the right things, and be kind of a positive force in a sea of negative. I mean, anybody that's been on some of these pages sees how negative people can be. And you can always count on Chris to try to find the bright spot or try to be that person that looking for the facts and trying to, be a supporter and not a deter. And Chris, it's really impressed me enough that there's something I hold almost sacred or holy, and I never give them away hardly. I mean, this is probably the first one I've given away since I've been mayor. But Chris, no, I'm not gonna give you a bike. You got a garage full of them. But I'm gonna give you a key to the city. So, congratulations, thank you. You are an inspiration and such a great influence. You deserve this. Absolutely. I mean,
Does this open the blank over here?
yeah, go on in. Tell them I said hi. But Chris, no, thank you so much for all that you do. We really appreciate it.
I'm honored. Thank you very much.
So, but thanks for being here tonight. I appreciate it. So you're welcome. So, great. Okay. Okay. Now we have another special presentation that was thought up by Councilmember Myers, and everybody was glad to participate. But in in celebration of our 250 years as a country, tonight we are all going to read the Declaration of Independence. And I think everybody knows what a powerful document. And when you hear this, what stands out the most to me, people don't talk like this anymore. I mean, when you read this, people don't talk like this anymore. It's different. And again, this is our founding document. And I will get it started and then we'll pass it off to other council members. Okay, in Congress, July 4th, 1776. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and the nature of gods entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind require that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. Now, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. And accordingly, all experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, thank you, it's a big word. I said people don't talk like this anymore. Pursuing invariably the same objective, if it's to design to reduce them under absolute despotism, and their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former system of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a historic history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object to the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. He has refused the assent to laws and most wholesome and necessary for the public good.
He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance unless suspended in their operation till his assent should be obtained. And when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend to them. He has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people unless those people would relinquish the right of representation in the legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only. He has called together legislative bodies at places unusual, uncomfortable, and distant from the depository of their public records for the sole purpose of fatiguing them into compliance with his measures. He has dissolved representative houses repeatedly for opposing with many firmness his invasions on the rights of the people.
He has refused for a long time after such dissolutions to cause others to be elected whereby the legislative powers incapable of annihilation have returned to the people at large for their exercise, the state remaining in the meantime exposed to all the dangers of invasion from without and the convulsions within. He has endeavored to prevent the population of these states for the purpose of obstructing the laws of naturalization of foreigners, refusing to pass others to encourage their migrations hither, and raising the conditions of new appropriations of lands. He has obstructed the administration of the justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judiciary powers. He has made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount and payment of their salaries.
He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of offices to harass our people and eat their substance. He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislators. He has effected to render the military independent of the superior to the civil power. He has combined with others to subject us to jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution and unacknowledged by our laws, giving the absent to their acts of pretended legislation.
For the quartering large bodies of armed troops among us, for protecting them by a mock trial from punishment for any murders which they should commit on the inhabitants of these states, for cutting off our trade with all parts of the world, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for depriving us in many cases of the benefits of trial by jury, for transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretending offenses, for abolishing the free system of English laws in a neighboring province, establishing there within an arbitrary government and enlarging its boundaries so as to render it once an example to fit instrument for introducing the same absolute rule into these colonies, for taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and altering fundamentally the forms of our government, for suspending our legislations and declaring themselves invested in power to legislate for us in all cases whatsoever.
He has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us. He has plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burnt our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people. He is at this time transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to complete the works of death, desolation, and tyranny already begun with circumstances of cruelty and perfidy scarcely paralleled in the most barbarous ages and totally unworthy the head of a civilized nation. He has constrained our fellow citizens taken captive on the high seas to bear arms against their country, to become the executioners of their friends and brethren, or to fall themselves by their hands.
He has excited domestic insurrections among us and has endeavored to bring on the inhabitants of our frontiers, the merciless Indian savages, whose known rule of warfare is an undistinguished destruction of all ages, sexes, and conditions. In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people. Nor have we been wanting in attentions to our British brethren. We have warned them from time to time of attempts by their legislature to extend an unwarrantable jurisdiction over us. We have reminded them of the circumstances of our immigration and settlement here. We have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity, and we have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to disavow these usurpations, which would inevitably interrupt our connections and correspondence. They too have been deaf to the voice of justice and consanguinity. We must therefore acquiesce in the necessity which denounces our separation and hold them as we hold the rest of mankind, enemies in war, in peace, friends. We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do, in the name and by the authority of the good people of those colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and of right, ought to be free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that as free and independent states, they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
Powerful document. I mean, and do you know that I think just about everybody that signed this, they were either killed or they died penniless. They lost everything because of this document and what they did. So pretty amazing. And now, because of them, we enjoy the freedoms that we have, which are greater than any country in the world. You don't believe me? Ask all these folks that came over for the World Cup. They thought this was the greatest country in the world. You got free refills on your pop. I mean, or soda, which, whatever you want to call it. But no, thanks, everyone. And thanks, Councilmember Myers. It was your idea, and I'm glad that you brought it up today. So, let's see. We will move to citizen comments. Is there anyone here that would like to address council tonight?
Good evening, all. Scott Lepsky, 7 Carousel Circle here in Fairfield, Ohio. Back on February 23rd, I was here to address you and share some thoughts and concerns with about some residential developments that are in process. One specifically at Mac and South Gilmore, that's, I believe, the Whispering Hills Division, and one at Pleasant and John Gray. Shared some thoughts regarding the similarities of these projects as requested by the citizens of Fairfield through public outreach as the Fairfield Forward Vision packet was put together. In both cases, there was a desire and a need for patio homes, cottage homes, and townhomes. In both situations, there was concern regarding traffic and the traffic impact at two major intersections that the vision statement calls gateways to the city. In one instance, specifically with regard to Whispering Hills, there was a motion passed to approve a $1.2 million forgivable loan on the project and establish a 30-year TIF district to provide some of the required accommodations. And at the time, I asked that if you would consider directing staff to have reasonable and substantive conversations regarding using similar tools to address some of the community concerns for the development at Pleasant and John Gray, specifically traffic impact, but also with regard to density of housing. It's been half a year since we had that conversation, and I thought I'd stop in and ask, where do we stand?
It's a good question. I don't think there's been much progress on, has there been anything happening with that development?
Actually, we have an update on the Whispering Hill development. I was going to send a notice out to council after this meeting. Just within the last few days, we have gotten some engineer drawings from Becker Engineering. Staff is looking at those now. We literally just got them at the end of last week. The next step in that process would be to go to the Planning Commission for approval of the final PUD with regard to Whispering Hill. Then that would go, once a recommendation is forwarded from Planning Commission, it would come back to City Council. So we're not prepared yet to take that forward because we just literally got the documents a day or two ago, but we're in the process of reviewing those documents. So there is progress on that project. With regard to the John Gray and Pleasant project, what I will say is that development is very difficult, and sometimes when developers dig into projects and do some engineering and studies, they find other issues that need to be worked out. My understanding is that is happening. That has caused some delay as the developer goes back to the property owner and says, hey, we found some issues, we need to work on our price, or we need to work on extensions of time, that sort of thing. So the latest story I've heard from them is that they're continuing to work on that project. As of now, the zoning is in place for the John Gray and Pleasant. That was passed by City Council. So any alteration to that plan would have to go back through a process of approval back through City Council. So, but my understanding is that the developer on that project, the John Gray and Pleasant, is continuing to work on it.
When did you last speak with them?
2 weeks ago.
Okay, so fairly recently.
And if I may, with regard to that specific development, what, if any, conversations are going on to alleviate the traffic concerns? The ones brought to your attention by the citizens and the ones that were expressed in the Fairfield Forward Vision document?
I think at this point, we're waiting on a developer to get back to us, and we haven't got that far yet.
No, I understand that
Yeah,
with
it's-
regard to the development,
Well, I
but
think-
with regard to the intersection as it stands today, even if nothing were to move forward.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything really going on yet. We're waiting on the developer, then obviously it'll come back and go to planning commission. And that's, I think, where a lot of these things will change. And my guesstimation, as far as conditions placed on the developer for the PUD. So,
Mr. Mayor, if I may add, there were conditions placed on the approval of the John Grant Pleasant project, which committed the developer to make some public improvements related to the project. So if that project were to go forward, those conditions are still in place. They would have to be adhered to by them.
But not to the intersection though, correct?
To the turn lane on John Gray Road leading up to the, not to
The
the, not,
extension, correct?
But
The extension you're talking about? That there's-
the widening of John Gray Road heading into the intersection, to add more capacity to some of the turn lanes.
Yeah.
That condition of approval was part of the approval. That condition was part of the approval.
can it be revisited for the intersection improvements to have some participation from the developer as far as impact on traffic and whatnot there?
That would not be something that we could impose upon them if they wanted to approach us and voluntarily make modifications. They could consider doing that. I don't anticipate that, but the approval of the PUD in the manner that it was approved establishes their right to develop the project, subject to minor provisions that we have as to the control for some design elements, but not that traffic changes, so.
We have nothing from the developer to impact the traffic at that intersection.
We do. That, there are certain changes to the turn lane that
Yeah,
would
but
create
beyond
a
the turn
stacking.
lane on Gray Road,
Right.
Pleasant Avenue, we have nothing.
Well, the other thing that
do.
it would be in place is a potential revenue source for future improvements. Once there are improvements, there are now new taxable increments that could be, should you decide to, you could create a TIF district that would now provide a dedicated revenue source for future intersection improvements, a funding source that does not exist currently.
If I
think
may,
that's
the
something
development.
we need to address eventually, because that intersection is going to need improved. I mean, that's a no-brainer to me.
As
I
it
mean,
stands,
needs
what
work.
council passed, the developer's current commitment is approximately $700,000 to extend a left turn lane.
Okay.
I understand that a portion of that may have been also in either partially or in addition, there was some grant funding that I believe Public Works was working on and has received. I think it was $300,000 or $400,000 if I remember correctly, but it's been, like I said, it's been a little while.
I don't know I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Okay, well, Ben, I can get with you with my notes afterwards if you'd like. But the point is, we're talking a few $100,000s to extend a turn lane at one development where the intersection is already problematic. And we're looking at a $1.2 million forgivable loan in a 30-year TIF district to get the requested housing that the public desired at another similar location. So to Mr. Kathman's point, it may be worth investigating some long-term solutions at that intersection, whether or not a development goes in the very near future, because I think most of us can agree that it's a problematic intersection and it does need some attention.
I agree.
But Mr. Lepsky, you started the conversation about the TIF for the Whispering, what is it, Whispering?
Spring Hill.
Subdivision. That TIF, Greg, correct me if I'm wrong, there was a small impact on the transportation or the intersection, but most of that was for the subdivision itself, correct?
Yes, for completion of public
Completion
infrastructure
of-
within that development.
Within
yes.
that. And quite frankly, I'm just a single vote. I am not willing to open up I'm not willing to agree with opening up and creating a TIF for the John Gray and Pleasant. I'm much, unless it was completely focused on just that intersection itself. I'll say it that way. Not for the enhancement of housing or changing the types of housing and so forth. I'm more interested in the safety of that particular area and the residents that will be living there and traveling there.
As am I, and I would hope the council would use every tool at their disposal to address those concerns.
I agree.
Well, I'll leave it for that and see you in 6 months.
Correct.
Thanks, folks.
Thanks, Scott. Is there anyone else that would like to, please come on up, give us your name and address.
My name's Jason Levline. My address is 5638 Lindenwood Lane. I come here today to talk to you guys because there is a house in my neighborhood that is running as a mental health triage. I've had handicapped children in my house. I've had them try to break in my house. It's absolutely bananas. They're all over the neighborhood. Like so what has happened is what I was told by building was there is this loophole in the state of Ohio where they can, it's whatever, right? But they're running a business next to me. They're running a business. Nobody lives there. These kids are only there when they assault their family members. Then they come there for 2 or 3 days. And then after they run amok in the neighborhood, they ship them back to their family. So what I've noticed is they have 19 other houses in the city of Fairfield. I can't be the only one that this is happening to. We have got to do something here. I am a single father with a 5-year-old daughter at home. This is absolutely unacceptable. I mean, I think we can all agree on that, right? Like, this is bananas. What are we doing? We're taking a neighborhood that it looks like it's in a Norman Rockwell painting and turning it into Nightmare on Elm Street. You know, I've lived in Fairfield most of my life. I love this city. I live in a dream neighborhood. Not anymore. My 5-year-old daughter cannot go outside and play. She can't enjoy the half an acre of land that I own in this city because I have a mental health triage center next to me. Something's got to be done. We got to do something.
I do not disagree, and is that something we can look at to see?
These are the police reports for the last 12 months for that address. I guarantee you this doesn't match the last 50 years in that neighborhood. 50 years, right?
What's the address of the?
Theirs? So the owner of it is Inclusive Housing Incorporated. I called them the Monday after Father's Day. Father's Day, the kids showed up in my house twice. So on the second time, I said, you know what? I've had enough of this. And I called Inclusive Housing. And you know what's funny is they came and took a whole bunch of computers out of there and nobody's seen anybody since. So that might have cured my problem. But I did tell them I was coming here to talk to you guys and let them know. They're not running a group home. They're running a triage center. That's what the workers that work there call it. They call it a triage center. So the address is 5648 Lindenwood Lane. I mean, you'd just be surprised. Assault, commercial fire alarm, sexual assault, missing person. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Right?
Yeah.
So I've called the police. The police can do very little. They're handicapped and they're violent. What are they gonna do with them, right?
Yeah.
So we need this addressed. We need it addressed. We need it figured out before something terrible happens in one of these neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is god awful.
Yeah, well, I would ask staff to take a look at our zoning ordinances to see if there's anything that can be done on our end. Because I feel sorry for you having to.
So I went
contend with that.
to the build, whatever this office is back here.
Yeah.
And everyone has told me, here's exactly what the answer is. Go to city council and tell city council that this is going on next to me. These are my neighbors. We're all rounding these children up. They're not, you know, it's like, what are we doing? I don't work for Inclusive Housing. And I sure to God, I don't want to put my hands on somebody else's child to get them out of my house. I mean, what are we doing? So,
Mr. Mayor, if I could,
Yeah.
so staff at the Development Services and Building and Zoning Department have looked at this topic. This is not the only time we've heard this. It has increased significantly in Fairfield over the last 2 to 3 years. And we and Mr. Walterman have spent a good amount of time researching this. And Steve, if you want to.
Well, this is a matter that, he mentioned the term group homes, and, this is a matter where there is state level preemption of our ability to regulate some of these. There are size limitations and there are some restrictions, and we can certainly look into whether or not they still meet that definition, which I'm not familiar with this particular location, but there is a restriction against the city of Fairfield. When we've adopted our ordinances and our zoning code, we are compliant with the state law. But we can certainly look into this
it's not
instance
a group
and,
home.
I'm
No,
sorry?
Make no mistake about
Yeah,
it, it's
we
not
can
a
look
group
into
home.
whether or not it actually
Yeah,
does in
it's a
fact
tree house.
qualify as a group home or not, and that's something that, we can do that, but, we're very familiar with the legislation. I don't know that there's a need to go back and look at it, because we drafted it as tight as we can draft it. But in terms of the problems, I mean, there is a limit to what the city is able to do, given the state level preemption on this topic.
Is this
So,
a company?
Yes. Yes.
We have 19 locations, Greg?
20 houses in Fairfield.
Councilmember Myers, this really stems from a recognized need at the state level for services to people who have disabilities.
Understood that.
Yeah, so it is in response to a need, and it definitely has an impact in lots of locations, not just Fairfield, so.
And these
it's-
facilities, if they have less than 6 people or fewer, they are exempt from local zoning. We can make them go through the process to get a building permit and building inspections done. But once that is in place, we cannot prohibit them in residential neighborhoods, small residential facilities.
But is this a company?
I'm certain that
Is
they're
it a-
operated with
Yes.
a profit motive.
Is it an LLC?
I don't know specifically on this one, but there
Doesn't
are
it have to
companies
have
that
a
operate
license
these things.
as an LLC to come into Fairfield and register, especially from a housing standpoint?
There is not a requirement, I don't know of anything that requires
Okay.
that property ownership for an individual or a corporation to buy property, that there's a license. I don't know if that would pass constitutional
have a
muster, to
question.
be perfectly
I
honest
guess
with
what
you.
I'm asking, Steve, is this a landlord or is it a company?
Both.
So it's a
it's-
full-fledged company
But they
that,
are exempt under the laws of the state of Ohio from abiding by. They can, I mean, if you're thinking of this as operating a business in a
Yes.
residential neighborhood,
yes.
I would suspect that they do in fact operate with a profit motive, but they are recognized to be permitted to facilitate and to provide a needed service throughout the state of Ohio. But, so it's a state level decision to authorize and allow this, so.
And is this the same, these 19 or 20
20 of
homes
them.
all owned by the same
Yes.
company or person?
Yes. Where are they getting their
I
money?
wouldn't know. I don't know the answer to that, but.
They have,
Regardless-
they have approximately 69 properties in the county. It does look like I'm not seeing on the auditor's website that volume in the city of Fairfield. I'm seeing currently 5 in the city of Fairfield. But they do own, they purchase houses throughout Butler, Warren, and Claremont County. They have an office in the city over on Mack Road, Inclusive Housing Resources. They've been buying up properties. I don't necessarily know what their funding structure is, but they have been purchasing, I mean, I think the earliest I saw them purchase a property in the city is 2024. They have continued buying property throughout Butler County as well as neighboring counties.
Because we're not stopping them. We're not putting our foot down and saying, look, you can't have this in our neighborhood. This is bananas. What? This is bananas.
But if it's coming from the state,
So what do we need to do? What do we need to do statewide? This is gonna be on the news, guys. Like, what are we talking about?
Jennifer Gross
Jennifer Gross
and
is our
George
state
Lang.
Representative, and George Lang's our state senator. I mean, those are the two that we need to talk to about it. And
So it's Lang and Love Your Outfit.
Jennifer Gross.
Jennifer Gross is a state rep and George Lang is a state senator that represents
So
Fairfield.
what do I do up till then? Do I just live in fear that these kids are just gonna come in and out of my house? I mean, what do I do here? I literally can't enjoy my life. My child can't enjoy her life. What do I do here? Do I start beating the hell out of them when they come in my house? Because I'm legally able to do that. I don't want to do that. I just want this fixed. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Look, I feel your pain, and we're gonna have to research this and see if there's anything we
I
can
would
do.
absolutely
from a
appreciate
state
it. I'm just
level.
at my wit's end,
I've
man.
got
Like,
a-
I don't know what to do.
Well, I've got a feeling it's beyond our hands, is the problem.
Then we need
And
to
we'll have
fix
to
it
talk
with
to the
state,
state
right?
representative and senator to see,
Yes.
if they're willing to do anything. Because I feel your pain. I don't think anybody would like to have,
So I mean, like, my other option is here, like, I have to sell my house. You see that? Like,
You run
I'm
into
a
the-
lifelong Fairfield, and who the hell's gonna buy it?
But right now, you run into the risk of you sell your house, you move somewhere else, and they can have the exact same thing happening there.
Well, no, if I sell this house, I'm moving to the middle of the country. I'm done living next week. I've had that. I'm done with it.
I mean, unfortunately, they can have them anywhere right now, and that's on a state level that.
So we
the way that it's
gotta,
written.
so there's nothing I can do other than the state, we gotta get a hold of the state representative to change
I
the.
think the answer is there's nothing that this group can do to alleviate your concern. Yes, there are things you can contact Jennifer Gross and George Lang and the other matters. Call the police when there is other.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. I would continue to call police and make reports because that is the only way that I see forward. We cannot prevent these folks from coming into the community, but if there's a continuing bad actors and problems in the community, and we
mean,
create
it's
a
an inch thick
record and a
nail.
document, there may be some opportunity to go to the company or go to the state and talk about rescinding licenses or things like that, but that usually requires a documentation, a pattern of
Right,
documentation.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's an inch thick now. Like, we wait until it's 5 inches thick until the
Sir,
news.
I just would continue to
Sir.
keep reporting them.
How many police reports do you have? Just give me a rough.
Probably 25,
Okay,
26.
is there something that, does the police department, you got Steve here, does the police department ever get proactive and go visit this place on Mac Road and show them the 20 reports and so forth and say, hey, we need some help here? What are the options?
We certainly can. I mean, we have talked to what we refer to as nuisance businesses in the city before and warned them that, if you don't control your business, there may be further action. I don't know how that applies in this case. I'm aware of the problems that they have up there. We have obviously been there. He has the reports, but it's limited on what we can do, right? We can only enforce the laws that are in place, and what they're doing is legal. I've had the same conversations with Mr. Walterman. But, I mean, if a crime takes place while we are in our presence or that we have probable cause to arrest someone, we certainly will, but that's not the type of situation that we're usually dealing with up there.
And have you had problems in these other locations within the city as well?
I think we've been to maybe a few, but I think this is probably the one that has the most activity as far as law enforcement calls for service. I can pull all those calls for service and provide them to you if you would like.
My point, Mr. Mayor, is that if we can, we've got data here suggesting that you've got some significant problems. If Mr. Maynard can, or one of your staff, go visit this company that's on Mac Road and present the case and say, hey, this gentleman came to council, this is growing from a police report standpoint, it's not getting any better at all, what can you do to help? And enter into a conversation and see what can you do to help us on this, along with any other properties as well. I think that's something that, in my mind, if the mayor agrees, that we can.
Absolutely.
I would absolutely appreciate it. And I think also the next step going to state level so that we can protect some of these. I mean, Rolling Hills is the neighborhood for our city.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know how that got passed or what, but it is what it is. Like, yeah, I would super appreciate that if the police would go up and
Well, we
make
can,
an appearance, let them
we
know
can
that,
try.
hey, this is.
we can try.
And then, is there somebody with council that knows our representative? That can get me in touch with them you do? I got you. Okay, so after the meeting, I'll get with you. All right, awesome. Thanks, guys.
Great, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Make sure you get with him before his horse, he rides off on his horse.
Send it by pigeon.
Is there anyone else that would like to approach council? Okay, we'll go ahead and move on through the agenda. Council reports. Councilmember Bezel.
Thank you. I actually have a report from finance, and then I have one from parks as well, so if you're patient with me, I appreciate it. Congratulations again to Diana, as we just were awarded the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award from Government Finance Officers Association for our 2026 budget book. The award is the highest form of recognition in government budgeting, so congratulations, Diana, and your team. And then, hang on here. From the parks, looks like, and I'm so sorry I have to read this, but we had, since the last council meeting, 5 Groovin' on the Green concerts. The average attendance was approximately 1,500 people. Fairfield Fest, which was our day-long celebration of America 250 at Village Green, with around 4,500 attendees throughout the day. And I should also mention that the weather was less than stellar that day, so that's pretty good, I think. Red, White, and Kaboom at Harbin Park had more than 8,000 visits on July 3rd. And the second Friday by the Lake events at Marsh Park Blues Fest was this past week. The second Fridays by the Lake event at Marsh Park. What, Chris, that already happened, I'm assuming? Okay, okay. And then Blues Fest was this past weekend at Village Green, and the golf course and aquatic center has been very busy so far this summer. Coming up, we have 3 Groovin' on the Green concerts. One this Thursday is Face to Face, which if any of you missed that and you are an Elton John or Billy Joel fan, I highly recommend you go because they were phenomenal last year. One of the best I've seen in like a long time. Antique Car Parade ends at Village Green on July 25th. Shakespeare in the Park at Village Green on July 31st, and Back to School Bash and Splash at Harbin Park on August 4th. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Bezel. Councilmember Paulus.
No report.
Thank you. Councilmember Pennington.
Thank you, Mayor. I do have a couple items. Barrett Paving completed the paving portion of the city's resurfacing project earlier today. So that's complete, and the contractor installing the EV charging stations at Harbin Waterworks, Community Arts Center, Justice Center, and the library will be starting work this month. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Brill.
Nothing to report.
Thank you. Councilmember Myers.
Mr. Mayor, you afforded me the privilege to act for you for the Miracle Leagues and giving a proclamation to Sean Casey. And be quite honest with you, I was absolutely blown away with the event. There were 6 states there of all-star athletes that were playing there. The event had a police escort from the buses coming in. They had drones. I mean, it is truly we are blessed to have them as part of our community. The Nuxall and the foundation and the Miracle League is just growing, and it's just a phenomenal event, and I appreciate that. That's all I have.
Thank you for being there for me. Councilmember Davidson.
No report.
No report. Okay, we have no public hearing. We've got the regular meeting minutes of June 8th, 2026 in our packets. Are there any corrections, deletions, additions? We'll let those stand approved as written and submitted. And we have no old business. And we will go to new business. I'll entertain a motion to read all new businesses by title only.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second to read all new business by title only. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We'll go Development Services. Mr. Timmer, please.
We have 2 ordinances tonight for development services. The first ordinance is to authorize the city manager to execute a restricted fund agreement with the Fairfield Community Foundation to establish the Fairfield Commercial Revitalization Fund. This action will support implementation of the city's commercial revitalization grant program by allowing the foundation to administer grant funds and assist with financial management and reimbursements for commercial exterior improvement projects. The second ordinance is a zoning map amendment for the property located at 5145 Pleasant Avenue. The ordinance would rezone the rear portion of the property from R3 multifamily residential to D1 downtown district, creating a single zoning classification across the entire site to better facilitate future commercial redevelopment. This is the first reading and a joint public hearing is proposed. Thank you.
Councilmember Brill.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have an ordinance to authorize the city manager to execute a restricted fund agreement with the Fairfield Community Foundation to establish the Fairfield Commercial Revitalization Fund for the purpose of assisting private owners or tenants with exterior upgrades to commercial properties and declaring an emergency. I'd like to let this stand for second and third readings, or I'm making a motion to suspend second and third readings.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend second, third reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion for adoption.
Motion and a second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And the second ordinance is an ordinance amending ordinance number 166-84, the codified ordinances of Fairfield, Ohio, section 1130.01B2, the city of Fairfield, Ohio zoning map. And this will stand as the first reading. And again, to reiterate, there will be set the joint public hearing date for August 10th of 2026.
Thank you, council member. Public safety, Councilmember Paulus, please.
Yes, I have a simple motion not to request a hearing regarding a liquor permit application in the name of Eastleigh NW LLC, doing business as Wildwood Pub, 5877 Ross Road, and it will be for a Class D5.
Second.
We have a simple motion and a second not to request a hearing for a liquor permit. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, council member. Next, Public Works, Mr. Timmer, please.
We have one resolution and 6 ordinances tonight for Public Works. The resolution declares the necessity for the Pleasant Avenue Road Improvement Project. This action is required to proceed with the assessment process associated with the project. The first ordinance authorizes the city manager to execute an Ohio Department of Transportation consent agreement for the Bypass 4 Culvert Invert Paving Project. The state will bear 100% of the cost of this project due to it being a limited access state route within a municipal corporation. The second ordinance authorizes the city manager to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering for preliminary engineering and design services for pedestrian improvements along Pleasant Avenue between Augusta Boulevard and Happy Valley Drive. The third ordinance authorizes the city manager to enter into a contract with Henderson Products for outfitting a new Freightliner truck with snow and ice control equipment for the street department. The fourth ordinance authorizes the city manager to enter into a contract with Prodigy Building Solutions for the construction of an additional restroom facilities at Fire Station 32. The fifth ordinance authorizes the city manager to enter into another contract with Prodigy Building Solutions for construction of a new maintenance building to serve Public Works, Streets and Grounds Division. The sixth ordinance authorizes the city manager to enter into a contract with Cargill for the purchase of road salt for the upcoming winter season. The city, in order to obtain better pricing and service, participates in bidding submitted in coordination with the Butler County Engineers Office. Thank you.
Councilmember Pennington.
Thank you, Mayor. The first is a resolution declaring intent and necessity of the BUT US 127-0.61 Pleasant Avenue Road Improvement Project and declaring an emergency. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second and third readings.
Second.
Motion is second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
And motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion and a second for adoption. Any comments from council? Is this the ordinance where we're looking at taking Pleasant Avenue to 2 lanes?
No, this is
Resolution?
sidewalk improvement
The sidewalk, okay,
for the
okay.
multi-use path.
Okay, all in favor of adoption?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And then I have another Ohio Department of Transportation, ODOT, consent agreement, Bypass 4 Culvert Invert Paving Project, and declaring an emergency. Like, motion to suspend the second and third readings.
Second.
Motion is second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion and second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
An ordinance to authorize the city manager to execute a contract with Choice One Engineering to the preliminary engineering alternatives and design for Pleasant Avenue pedestrian improvement, Augusta to Happy Valley, and declaring an emergency. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second and third readings.
Second.
Motion and second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And motion to adopt.
Motion and second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And I'd like an ordinance to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Henderson Products Incorporated for the outfitting of the Freightliner 108 SD single axle truck cab chassis for the street department and declaring an emergency. I'd like to make a motion to suspend at the second and third readings.
Second.
Motion and second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion and second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I have another ordinance to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Prodigy Building Solutions LLC for the bathrooms addition at Fire Station 32 Dixie and declare an emergency. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second and third readings.
Second.
Motion and second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And motion to adopt.
Motion and second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And the fifth ordinance is to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Prodigy Building Solutions LLC, Westchester, Ohio, for the construction of an additional maintenance building at Public Works, Grounds and Parks Maintenance Division, and declaring an emergency. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second and third readings.
Second.
Motion and second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion and second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And the last ordinance is to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Carroll Incorporated for the purchase of road salt. Motion to suspend the second and third readings.
Second.
Motion to suspend second and third reading. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And motion to adopt.
Motion and second for adoption. Any comments from council?
Yeah, Mr. Timmer, do we get locked in on this price, after the passing of this?
I'm going to go ahead and turn that over to Ben.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
So we're locked in.
Yes, we locked in at this price.
And how does that compare to prior year?
So it's quite a bit higher than last year. So I had some conversation with Butler County Engineers Office, because this is a 14-15% increase from last year. There is a larger group, that the city of Dayton manages, that I just saw their bids today, and they're even higher than ours.
So when we buy this, do we buy it as, similar to what we do with energy, right? You do a conglomerate. Is there any opportunity, or are we using Butler County for that conglomerate?
We're using Butler County, and like I said, there's a larger group that we have talked about.
And that's the best price with that larger group?
This year, it was a better price.
Okay. Thanks, Ben. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Just for note, in 2017, it was $58.73 per ton. And now it's, what was it, Ben? 110.68.
Yeah, we're 110 something this year.
Yeah, insane.
And what we're hearing is it's transportation, fuel, and scarcity of materials, difficulty of mining material.
Makes sense. Okay, we're up for adoption. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you,
That's all I have.
council
Thank you,
member.
Mayor.
Finance and budget, Mr. Timmer, please.
We have 7 ordinances tonight for finance and budget. The first ordinance levies special assessments for property owners who elected to have the city complete sidewalk and apron repairs. Letters will be sent to property owners stating that all outstanding assessments are to be paid by a specific date to be determined by, or the county auditor will place the assessment on the tax bills over the next 5 years for collection. The second ordinance establishes salaries and hourly rates for certain municipal court employees. The third, fourth, and fifth ordinances are for appropriations. The supplemental appropriations are administrative in nature, specifically travel and training. The contractual appropriations total $1,374,000 and provide funding for 4 public works projects. The non-contractual appropriations total $283,988 and include 9 projects in the public works, public utilities, and police departments, as well as the Information Technology Division and Sustainability Division. The 6th and 7th ordinances are related to the IUOE collective bargaining agreement. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Timmer. Councilmember Bezel, please.
All right, buckle up, everybody. Here we go. Got an ordinance levying special assessments for the repair of sidewalks, including aprons in the city of Fairfield, Ohio, and declaring an emergency. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second and third readings.
Motion and second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion and second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I have an ordinance to establish salaries and hourly rates for certain municipal court employees of the city of Fairfield, Ohio, and to authorize and limit the numbers and types of certain municipal court employees to repeal ordinance number 67-26 and all amendments thereto and declaring an emergency. What?
I did it too quick.
Oh. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second and third readings.
Second.
Motion and second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion to adopt.
Second. Motion and second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And we have an ordinance to amend ordinance number 148-25 entitled an ordinance to make estimated appropriations for the expenses and other expenditures of the city of Fairfield, Ohio during a period beginning January 1st, 2026 and ending December 31st, 2026. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second and third readings.
Second.
Motion and second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion and second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
We have an ordinance to amend ordinance number 148-25 entitled an ordinance to make estimated appropriations for the expenses and other expenditures of the city of Fairfield, Ohio during a period beginning January 1st, 2026 and ending December 31st, 2026. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second and third readings.
Second.
Motion and second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion and second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And we have an ordinance to amend ordinance number 148-25 entitled an ordinance to make estimated appropriations for the expenses and other expenditures of the city of Fairfield, Ohio during a period beginning January 1st, 2026 and ending December 31st, 2026. I have a motion to suspend the second and third readings.
Second.
Motion is second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion is second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
And as we stated at the beginning of the meeting, we had 2 additional ordinances added. I would like to make a motion ordinances that were added to the agenda by title only.
Motion is second to read additional ordinances by title only. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And the first ordinance is an ordinance to authorize the city manager to enter into a collective bargaining agreement with the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 20, IUOE, for wages, hours, and terms and conditions of employment for the period of March 1st, 2026 through February 28th, 2029, inclusive and declaring an emergency. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second and third readings.
Second.
Motion is second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And move to adopt.
Motion is second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And I have an ordinance to establish salaries and hourly rates for certain salaried and hourly employees of the city of Fairfield, Ohio, and to authorize and limit the numbers and types of certain employees, to repeal ordinance number 51-26 and all amendments thereto and declaring an emergency. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second and third readings.
Motion is second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
To adopt.
Motion is second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
That is it. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, council member. Madam Clerk, we have the meeting scheduled,
Awful
please.
long-winded there.
Yeah, I know.
Monday, August 10th, council manager briefing 6 PM, regular meeting 7 PM. Monday, September 14th, council manager briefing 6 PM, regular meeting 7 PM. Monday, September 28th, council manager briefing 6 PM, regular meeting 7 PM.
Okay, we have no executive session, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion, a second to